debut album by American band Plasmodulated, which started out as a solo project by Mike Colby and gained new creative momentum with the addition of a live lineup. What is refreshing about their sound, knowing in advance that they play primitive death metal, is the way they manage to bring originality to their compositions. For now, the factor highlighted in the press release is the one that has the most impact. The tuning is not ultra-low, with the guitars tuned to E, which makes it sound refreshing. On the other hand, the distortion sounds somewhat digital but is not too severe, something that is easily overlooked. Overall, a valuable debut that fans of classic death metal have reason to appreciate. Constant Storm is back, the project of Daniel Laureano, former guitarist of Moonshade. From the beginning, this has been a constantly changing musical entity, and with the fourth album, that was exactly what we expected. Interestingly, this is perhaps the album that differs the least from the previous one in terms of musical direction, although its evolution is still appreciable. We have a rich concept, as has been the norm in recent times, focused on what appears to be the Black Sails saga, the prequel to the classic novel and film adaptations Treasure Island. Musically, it is acoustic-based progressive rock, but occasionally also features distortion, with the song remaining the main focus, something that can be felt throughout these 6 tracks. Knowing that the evolution does not stop here, what we have is exactly what fans of unconventional progressive rock are looking for. The paradox is that two opposing things can coexist in perfect harmony, like the fact that Slow Crush's sonic textures bring us weight and hypnotic riffs, and, at the same time, an atmosphere that gives us lightness, as if we were walking on clouds. During the post-black metal craze, shoegaze ended up gaining a bit of a bad reputation, but this is proof that for everything that is bad or excessive in life, there is a positive and balanced counterpart. This is an album that is easy to get hooked on and always gives a lot in return. Debut album by American band Ancient Torment, who, with Follow the Echo of Curses, bring us a powerful black metal album in true Scandinavian style. It has everything we love about the genre. Without being a return to the past, or a work that manipulates us through nostalgia, it doesn't forget the main characteristics of the style, nor the ability to create those special atmospheres. It is above all this last characteristic that is most effective and brings an epic impact to this set of songs. A debut that we absolutely recommend. Danish band Lotan are back with their second album, 2 years after their debut. And for those who didn't get to know them through their self-titled debut, you'll be pleasantly surprised by what you find here. Black/death metal, or blackened death metal with power but also with a critical edge behind their lyrics. It's not enough to just spread destruction. You have to know what needs to be destroyed. This destructive power manifests itself through sharp riffs, merciless beats, a pulsating bass, and of course, an unforgiving voice. The Anchorite project is back with their second album. With them returns epic doom metal that guarantees many good moments of metallic headbanging, with that groove characteristic of the style, more than appealing to doom fans. This is an album that no heavy metal fan will be able to ignore. On top of that, this album was the first where the composition came about in a more collaborative way between the band members. And this is noticeable in this set of songs that are more solid and a clear evolutionary step forward in the band's musical identity. After an EP in 2022, Canadian band Harvested returns with a debut album that will violently grab the attention of all fans of brutal and technical death metal. It is one of the few cases where the description in the press release, which indicates that it is recommended for fans of bands such as Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Dying Fetus, and Decapitated, makes perfect sense. Everything is done naturally without going overboard, combining the traditional school of the style with some more modern trends in the best possible way. This is how new blood is injected into the scene, in a memorable way. Lord of the Lost are currently one of the biggest names in European Gothic metal, and perhaps even worldwide. And the way they planned their career is impressive. After a more glam and glittery phase that even took them to the Eurovision Song Contest, the band decided to start a trilogy of albums, each with 11 tracks, where they recover a little of their darkness and heaviness. And while plans don't always go right, especially in managing the expectations they can create in the public and how they are materialized, what we have here is always debatable, and time is usually the best advisor. But what we feel is that Lord of the Lost are back better than ever, with an album full of special guests, such as Within Temptation and Feuerschwanz, that leaves expectations high for the rest of the trilogy. Unleashed are one of those bands that never disappoint. Having not released an album for 4 years, this comeback shows them to be more inspired than ever. Despite their history and undeniable impact on the Swedish death metal scene, they have always managed to stand out from their competition. If there were any doubts, Fire Upon Your Lands demonstrates that with almost 4 decades of career, their vitality shines brighter than ever and materializes through songs full of power, and where we have a particularly inspired work in terms of solos. Overall, it has all the elements we want to hear in an upbeat. One of the greatest and most underrated American power metal bands is back. After 5 years without releasing a new album, they are back in a big way after touring around the world playing their greatest hits, which perhaps explains why this album sounds so classic. I don't really like to talk about a return to their roots, because that can lead to false expectations, and what was will never be again. Never. What we have here is a band coming full circle, satisfied with who they are, and inspired enough to go back to the source of their musical identity. The result is one of their strongest albums in recent times and a must-have for all heavy metal fans.